Hello everyone, this is Group 4 Coronavirus. Today we are going to talk about one of the most well-known and significant viruses, coronavirus. In this video, we will conduct the introduction of transmission, symptoms, prevention, and vaccination about this kind of virus. It includes 6 parts in total, which will help you gain a comprehensive understanding of the coronavirus. First of all, let's begin with the introduction to this virus. I know that most of you know this virus pretty well regarding to the pandemic outbreak in 2020, which was known as COVID-19. However, there is more microscopic knowledge that we should know about this small microorganism and in order to be clear about why it can cause a huge impact between the population. Thus, we will explain some key features in different types of coronavirus that especially infect human beings. Firstly, its structure is pretty unique compared to other types. It is a positive sense single-stranded RNA virus that contains no DNA sequence. So it uses the RNA-dependent RNA polymerase to replicate identical RNA copies from itself in the cytoplasm in the human body cells. Besides, it exploits a lipid envelope from human cells which can be destroyed by soap or alcohol. So, one of the most considerable questions is how it is transmitted among people. The main infection path is the respiratory system, including lungs and airways, sometimes even through the digestive system. There are 2 genres of human coronavirus emerged during the COVID-19 pandemic. The MERS-CoV-2, which is the abbreviation of Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, and the SARS-CoV-2, which is usually known as the COVID-19 virus. The largest difference between them is the original host. The former one comes from camels, and the later one was transmitted from probably bats. And the MERS-CoV-2 can be more concerning, as though it has less transmissibility. The fatality rate is still quite high.
Next, we have transmissions. This is where we will talk about how people get infected. Respiratory droplets. These are small aqueous particles of saliva, mucus from the respiratory tract during coughing, talking, sneezing, or breathing. Aerosols. These are tiny solid particles floating in the air. Infections happen especially in enclosed spaces. Touching contaminated surfaces, then touching your face also includes as well. Next, we have COVID symptoms. Here we will talk about the various types of COVID symptoms. The common symptoms are fever, dry cough, and fatigue, while others are sore throat, runny nose, headache, muscle aches, loss of taste or smell, nausea or vomiting, and diarrhea. More serious symptoms are difficulty breathing or shortness of breath, also chest pain or pressure, and bluish lips or face. Next, we have who is the most susceptible and the risk factors. According to the CDC article, older adults are at higher risk of getting very sick from COVID-19. More than 81% of COVID-19 deaths occur in people over age 65. The number of deaths among people over age 65 is 97 times higher than among people with ages 18 to 19 years old. Your risk of severe illness from COVID-19 increases as a number.
Next, we're going to be talking about ways to prevent getting infected from coronavirus. So one of the most important things we can do is wash our hands regularly for at least 20 seconds because that helps remove any germs and bacteria. It's also important to make sure areas are well ventilated, especially indoors, because the fresh air can reduce the spread of viruses. Wearing a mask when needed and practicing good hygiene while covering your coughs and sneezes can also help protect yourself and others from diseases. And if we start noticing symptoms, it's super important to stay home and distance yourselves from your loved ones to avoid spreading illnesses, especially COVID. Lastly, vaccination is super important to reduce the risk of severe infection and just keep the community safer overall, which we'll be going over in the following slides as well. So next, we're going to be going over how the vaccine works. So to begin, the vaccines help train our immune system to recognize and fight the virus without actually making us sick or reduce symptoms. So they do this by introducing harmless instructions or pieces of the virus, like the spike protein, which causes the body to create the antibodies and activate immune cells. The antibodies help protect us if we are exposed to the real virus later on. Another important part is the immune memory because the body remembers how to respond faster and more effectively in the future. And just overall, the vaccines can help reduce the chances of severe illness and also protecting yourself and the community.
Last but not least, I'm going to inform you guys with a little bit of knowledge regarding the types of vaccination, which could be quite unfamiliar compared to the previous chapters. According to a source that we've read and its link was pasted on this page, there are currently 3 vaccines available to use in the USA, including the Moderna, Pfizer, and Novavax. While there is no preference of one vaccine over another, they have actually distinctive age recommendations on each one. The first one, we call it Spikevax, which belongs to the Moderna COVID-19 vaccine. It is recommended for infants who are only about 6 months or older. In addition, another type of vaccine which also belongs to this group, named mNEXSpike, and it is mainly aimed at the juveniles that are aged 12 years and older. Another type called Comirnaty belongs to Pfizer, BioNTech, which emerged for younger children aged 5 years and older. Other than that, Nuvaxovid belongs to Novavax and is mainly used for people 12 years or older.